Last month was the most murderous month in Baltimore since 1970. And to say the violent crime in Baltimore has spiked in recent months, well, that would be an understatement. The response from Baltimore Police Interim Commissioner Kevin Davis is what he calls the war room. It's a chance for city, police, federal agents, and prosecutors all to put their heads together and develop cases that'll stick to this city's most violent repeat offenders. Well, tonight, an In Focus exclusive, as our camera was the only one let into this war room, and our Brian Kubler was the only reporter.
Jamie, the war room was introduced with much fanfare in a big press conference last month. Commissioner Kevin Davis was flanked by the mayor, state's attorney, and others. Each spoke of the same kind of things we've heard before and how they're going to go after the really bad guys. But they say it hasn't been done like this before. The violent crime this summer is dizzying. The sheer amount of shell casings on city streets and now the scary round number of 200 bodies reached much earlier than in recent years. There's a battle on our streets, and now a war for them.
The war room, that collaboration of you and I sitting across the desk from one another and looking each other in the eye and figuring out a case, that's the new normal in Baltimore. Interim Police Commissioner Kevin Davis is hoping the crime doesn't define the fight, but that the fight defines the crime. He stood up what he called the war room a month ago, an effort to not just say different agencies are working together, but forcing them to belly up at the same table to figure it out. My analogy to the war room is if I had a puzzle to put together and I had 1,500 puzzle pieces, and I've needed to put the puzzle together right now. I can't do that on the telephone. I can't do that with a text message. I can't do that with an email. I can't do that with a conference call.
We've taken what took weeks, if not months before, and have built something that takes days.
If the post-Freddie Gray crime surge is a puzzle, then it's Colonel Sean Miller who's already laid out the border, working inward to piece it together. Miller is the commander of the war room and runs the briefings between city police, federal agents, and prosecutors. ABC2 News is the first news organization allowed to witness a war room briefing. We agreed to disconnect our microphones, blur faces of undercover agents, and shoot around sensitive case material as the group literally compared notes on violent crimes, threads, trends, and, most importantly, building prosecutable cases against a list of those worst of the worst criminals. From there, the colonel says, it's just simple math.
The small group of bad guys in the city are the ones doing all the violent crime. And once they are identified and their associates are identified, the subtraction process, you will see that lower level of homicides and non-fatal shootings coming.
It's just that simple.
It's just that simple.
And while the formula is drawn up on the 7th floor, it's carried out on the street. Federal agents are working with city police on the ground to execute the warrants, seize the guns, and arrest the targets they believe are responsible for the crime. Baltimore PD now has the expertise and resources of the FBI, DEA, Marshals, Secret Service, and the ATF by their side and immediately available to arrest and build cases. Like here last week in Northeast Baltimore, as a war room team served a warrant on a drug case with an assist from a rather cute federal resource, an explosive-sniffing ATF dog named Cacao. But it's not just the pooch. ATF, for its part, dedicated 10 of its agents from Charlotte to Boston to work with Baltimore City Police.
We didn't bring these agents in from other field divisions to sit in our office and sit behind a computer all day. So they will physically be out there every day during this detail, working with Baltimore City to actively target those individuals.
It's no longer just cooperation with federal partners in theory or spirit. The feds now have skin in the game, so to speak, a vested interest in pulling out some of Baltimore's violence at the root. But crime fighting is a results-oriented business. While police say it is too early to talk stats, the war room is boasting some homicide closures, increase in seized guns, and the rapid arrest for a triple shooting of 3 teens late last month.
We have 4 violent crime strands going on in Baltimore right now, and what the war room's been able to do is put pieces together, connect bad guys from one strand to another, and we've made some positive results.
But time will tell if the war room and immediate federal resources will make a dent in Baltimore's most recent
violent crime surge.
All right, so the war room's been up for about a month, and then last week Baltimore Police came out with a BFED. Now, is this different?
Yes, but related. BFED is the homicide arm to this whole thing, so the agents are embedded with Baltimore homicide detectives to help close more cases quickly, again trying to get known violent offenders off the street. So as the commissioner told us, they may not be able to put the gun in the suspect's hands or say that he pulled the trigger, but they are looking at other crimes to build a case against the target to get them off the street.
All right, here's another one for you. How long is the federal government going to allow the federal agents to stay put here?
All these federal agencies have committed to 60 days, but they will revisit that deadline as it gets closer if needed.
All right, our only camera, only reporter inside that war room. Thank you, Brian.